Well, we know there were lots of protests outside some Tim Hortons locations today following a move by some of the owners there to get rid of paid breaks and scale back employee benefits in the wake of Ontario's minimum wage increase. We know paid breaks aren't actually legislated in Ontario, but obviously this must be having an effect on the company's bottom line, especially given the negative press.
Yeah, you think that. So the franchises, they say that the minimum wage increase will cost them $243,000 in profit this year. Labor groups, though, Francis, they say that's not true. They say the company's wildly profitable and can absorb the minimum wage hike. So, yeah, just how big a hit will the bottom line take at Timmy's? I asked Robert Carter with the NPD Group.
You know, any publicity of this kind is obviously bad news for a major restaurant operator like Tim Hortons, particularly in an industry that's so competitive. As we know, labor is always the most expensive cost. These restaurant operators are making single-digit margins at the end of the day.
Francis, investors, they were worried about these protests today. We saw Tim Hortons stock down almost 2% on Bay Street.
Now, we already know that Alberta has actually been increasing its minimum wage actually faster than Ontario, and all the doom and gloom predictions there have actually not come true.
Yeah, so far so good. The minimum wage in Alberta is up to $13.60. It's been there since the fall. It's going up to $15 later this year, ahead of Ontario's. And Alberta, they led Canada in employment growth in December. The province added 26,000 jobs last month, and most of them were in accommodation and food services, the areas where you typically see the most part-time jobs. And this is actually what studies have found time and time again, Francis, is that when you hike a minimum wage in a certain area, you actually encourage employment growth. But we're going to have to see what happens.